You treated her good. You had the good times. I treated her bad. I don't have to think about this. Sorry, Rocco. I can't do this no more.
Covenant, calling Raven.
Payback time.
Come on!
Come with me if you want to live.
You just don't turn it off!
30 years after the ringing of the first bell, Rocky Balboa comes out of retirement and dons his gloves for his final fight against the reigning heavyweight champion, Mason "The Line" Dixon. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. You're watching Backtrack Cinema, where we talk movies of the past that you know and love. And today is Rocky month for November, and we're going through Rocky Balboa. So I started the Rocky series a while back, and I just, other things got busy. So we're returning this month. We're going to finish Rocky Balboa and the Creed movies, do a big ranking and a big top 50 Rocky moments video. So we're going to talk Rocky Balboa, and this is one of the better ones in the franchise as far as I'm concerned. I love this movie. And let me tell you, I had never been more excited for a fucking movie ever than back in 2006 when I was watching the trailer every day. And, I wish I knew my Rocky bubble then. I wish I knew more Rocky fans then, but it was just me getting so excited about this. And it was also a really good time for me, because this is where I met my wife. We were dating at the time when we went to the theater to see Rocky Balboa. We were like a couple months dating. So it was just a very glowing, very happy time. Not that I'm not happy. I'm very happy now, guys. I'm not saying that. But so this movie I was just so excited for. We hadn't seen Rocky in like 16 years, since 1990 in Rocky 5. So I never was more excited for a movie. And you want to talk about how to bring a character back. We see it all the time now. They're always playing into bringing Indiana Jones back and passing off the new characters, bringing, Michael Myers back after like the original movie and that Halloween did. This is a really big thing now. 2006, not many people were doing it. Stallone does it. No one wanted to touch this movie. They didn't want to touch him. You kidding me? Another freaking Rocky movie. The last one was terrible. It's kind of funny how the first four was so successful with the fans and financially. One dud, which is not really a dud. Rocky 5 is a good movie. That no one wants to touch this. Never count Stallone out. You could never write this man off. Ever. Just amazing what he did with this movie. Maybe one of his best directed movies. It's one of his proudest movies. That's for sure. Stallone paralleling his life with Rocky, channeling into Rocky to get his frustrations out. So it was released in 2006, written and directed by Sylvester Stallone, starring Sylvester Stallone, Antonio Tarver, Milo Ventimiglia, and Geraldine Hughes. I like where we find Rocky in this. Now, when it was the trailer and we find out Adrian has died, there's no Adrian in this movie. I was like, what the hell are you doing? How could Adrian not be in this film? Context. We need context. It was the only way to tell this story with Rocky. Because now we find him in a state of grief, regret, sorrow, that I love Adrian enough. The relationship with his son is failing. He's losing that. He's losing and losing and losing and losing and losing. In order for Rocky to work well, we have to see the struggle. Just like the first movie, a man who is struggling. We have to see struggle before we get to see the character be triumphant. He's got a lot of pain. He's got a lot of loss. He talks about this stuff in the basement.
I don't know, there's still some stuff in the basement.
What basement?
In here.
All this regret, you know what I mean? So he wants to go into one more fight. He wants to fight it, but he wants to get this out. Rocky gets things out by fighting, get this regret out. He wants to be pounded on. As I just watched the new Sly documentary, he said, Rocky needs to be purged. He's right. He's absolutely right. Rocky turns into something else in the ring. All the emotion. He turns into a beast. He gets it out. You know what I mean? It's just not a fight. It's a metaphor for life, fighting against life. And when he takes this fight on, it was supposed to be just small clubs and stuff like that, but he takes on the champion. And we get a side to the champion, Mason the Lion Dixon, where he's not getting respected. He's taking people out too fast. His legacy's in dire straits. So they want him to face Rocky Balboa, and he thinks it's just a joke and everything. But he gets into a fight at the end of this, doesn't he? He gets into a fight, man. Rocky's opened up a restaurant in Adrian's memory and all that kind of stuff. So he runs this restaurant. He's just kind of going through the motions. He's not moving forward, right? He's not moving on. The year of Adrian's death, he goes around to all these places that we know from the first movie, that, his old apartment and, the pet shop, Mick's gym, all these iconic landmarks that we know. And this is where the movie just really got to me, man. You see Rocky standing at the steps. He goes, I remember when she was standing there, and I just wanted her to trust me. You know what I mean? And you kind of see this, ghost image of Adrian, and it just brings, it fucks you up, man. Rip, plump, stomp, man, because you're so invested for over 30 years at this time of Rocky 1, watching Rocky, seeing everything they'd gone through, and seeing Rocky 1 then go to Rocky Balboa is such an interesting 1-2 combo, because we see Rocky, getting respect in Rocky 1, being triumphant, getting Adrian, then bang, Rocky Balboa comes around 30 years later. Loss. Tragic loss. Amazing. And great performances all around with all of them. Stallone, but he's never played Rocky better. You know what I mean? He's that character from the first movie. I love that. Brought him, this stripped him back and brought him back. Really love Burt Young in this. Rest in peace, Burt Young. Love Burt Young in this. Burt Young just, plays Paulie great every time, but now we see that emotion with his sister gone. There's that one scene, you know what I mean, where he just wants to bury the past, and Rocky's opening up this wound every time, where he's going to these landmarks, and where Paulie says, you treated her good, you had the good times. I treated her bad. I don't need to think about this. It's just amazing performance that just tears you up, man. Great stuff. And all the stuff we see through this movie, the struggle, everything, Rocky getting everything out, is just makes the fight so much better, right? I love how they had Little Marie from the first movie. Rocky befriends her, gives her a job, just being this, this Rocky, this nice neighborly person to her, and trying to teach her son some lessons on life and what he's learned and the regrets he have. It's good stuff, great stuff there. And this relationship with Rocky and Robert is just really good too. It's falling apart. It's fallen apart. After Adrian died, everything fell apart. He doesn't know how to connect with his son. His son feels like, he can't get anywhere in life because who his dad is. Rocky is such a big, iconic character. And just, like he says, it's like a big shadow. He can't get out of his father's shadow. And I mean, who doesn't relate to that? We all see, in a healthy relationship anyway, we see our father as the man. I mean, the person who's done it all. And you can relate to that. How do I be the man? How do I, put my best foot forward? And that's where this speech comes into play. Roberts is blaming and not doing anything for himself. It's very reminiscent of that Mickey scene in the first movie where Rocky's blowing off on him. I think Rocky has a lot more credit though, because, he was unrealized and no one gave him a chance and everything, where this kid has got all the chances. It's a different situation, but the speech he gives to Robert to make his eyes open up. You can't write something better that Stallone wrote the perfect speech. It's not how hard you hit. It's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, how much you can take and keep moving forward. He clenches his fist. That's how winning is done. Because he's been there. He's done that. If you know what you're worth, then go get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits, and love it. I mean, how could you not be so inspired by that after? How could you not just go out after and put your best foot forward? I mean, this movie is just so inspiring.
And not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you! You're better than that!
And I love the way this movie ends. After Rocky does the fight and he's at Adrian's grave. Adrian, we did it. We did it. It's beautiful. And then you see Rocky, that Bill Conti music, and he just fades away. For me, this is, for all intents and purposes, this is the end. It was a perfect ending. I like Creed, don't get me wrong, but they opened up wounds that were already handled and put to bed here, that Stallone put to bed. And then in Creed, we got like Rocky not talking with his son again and stuff like that. It kind of doesn't make sense because this ending is so good. And I really feel like this is the ending. As much as I love Creed 1 and Creed 2, you know what I mean? I do like those movies, but I love this ending so much. It just ended on such a great note. Rocky gets that stuff out of the basement. You know, he's able to move on now. He repairs the relationship with his son. Character arcs completed. Beautiful. Now, I wouldn't say it's not perfect like Rocky 1's perfect. If you saw my review, it's a perfect film. It's not, these are really little things. One of them is Adrian. You gotta kill Adrian to tell this story. I get it, but I wanted to see it. I wanted to go through that pain. We deserved to go through that pain with Rocky. It's there. You feel his pain, but even if it was just flashbacks of her kind of dying, it would have been hard. Fuck yes, it would have been hard to watch, but I wanted it. You know, I need my pain. I want my pain. I wanted it. You know what I mean? And I just, you know, the exposition of her dying and stuff like that. I wanted just to see something visually. You know what I mean? That's just a nitpick though. Like I'm sure a lot of people just didn't mind that at all, but that's something. We saw Mickey's death. We saw Apollo's death. I mean, obviously Apollo's is part of the narrative, but we got to see Mickey's death. Why couldn't we see just a flashback of, you know, Adrian dying and stuff like that? I'm not big on Mason the Line Dixon. I think this is one of the weakest villains in this series. Unfortunately, it's such a great movie, but he's just so fucking arrogant and cocky and I'm the man, I'm the best. And they're trying for an Apollo Creed thing, but he's not Apollo Creed. He doesn't have that charisma. He doesn't have that life to him. You know what I mean? He's just not a likable guy at all, I find. And I think he was supposed to be likable because when he talks to his trainer, it's like, you know, there's always someone to fight. And when you find that, when you can't even breathe, that's baptism under fire. I don't like the character of Mason Line. He just doesn't come off as good. He's better than Tommy Gunn, but he ain't that much better, to be honest with you. And I think it hurts the movie a bit. You know what I mean? It hurts that end fight a bit. I'm mixed on the end fight a bit. I appreciate Stallone doing this real realistic Las Vegas fight where it looks like we are watching a real fight on HBO. Probably took a lot of work. Some of his cinematic style, I think, works through it, and other times it doesn't. Like sometimes I feel like we're going too slow-mo at times, and some of the colors and you know, with the black and white and the bright blood coming down. Just his style and everything, I thought it was good at times, but other times I thought was too much of it. Rather than this going for a real classic cinematic fight. But I understand what he had to do. It's a modern audience at the time and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's not the worst fight in the world by any means. Creed 3, I still like the emotion, all the emotion behind it and everything. I do like the close-ups of Rocky's eyes. I love that part where it's slow, where he almost gets knocked down. And he's thinking, "Get up." You know what I mean? You hear his voice, and all the flashbacks of the movies come in. I mean, it's edited really well, and then you really get jacked up. And I just love at the end where he just knocks Mason the Line Dixon. He gets the final punch, and I love how Rocky just walks away. He doesn't even pay attention. He just salutes the crowd at the end. He doesn't care. It was never about the fight like the first movie. Amazing way to end the movie. And just kind of mixed on the style of the fight a bit. That's about it. I'm probably alone on that. People probably think it's just fucking awesome and it kicks ass, and it does. It's just it's more of a mixed thing. Wow, that is Rocky Balboa. I felt like I ranted. I just ranted through this whole thing. But that's okay. This is Backtrack Cinema. We have passion here. We love Rocky. I love talking about movies with you guys. So Let's grade this baby. I'm going to give Rocky Balboa from 2006 a B+. What about you guys? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of Rocky Balboa. Where would you put it in your ranking? Do you love this movie? Don't you like it? Is it just me for you? Let's talk about it. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content. My name is Jason. You're watching Backtrack Cinema. I will see you next time, and I will see you in the movies. Cheers.